So if you're gonna come here to Korea, be prepared. If you have braids or something or locks in your hair, they're just gonna call your hair reggae hair. Hi everyone, it's Chit, and today I wanted to come and talk to you guys about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, and it's talking about being a Black person or person of color in South Korea. Now, as you can see, well, for one, I have white hair. It's my birthday today, and I just thought, like, I want to spice it up a little bit. I got myself this white hair, and yeah, I mean, I kind of like it. But anyway, that's besides the point. I wanted to do a get ready with me and talk about my experience as a person of color in South Korea, as a Black person in South Korea, and some of the things that I feel like a lot of people don't typically discuss when they talk about living in Korea as a Black person, that I think needs to have, a little bit more light shed upon, because if we don't talk about it, then how are those things gonna change? You know what I mean? I don't know if this one little video is gonna change that situation at all, but I think it's important to talk about. Without further ado, I'm gonna be putting on my makeup, and later I'm gonna go and treat myself to some lunch or dinner or something. I don't have anybody to go out with me today, but I'm still gonna look cute and go somewhere and treat myself to something nice for today. So if you're interested in watching, let's go ahead and get into it. I've actually written it down in some notes here, so if you see me looking down, you know what it is. I'm gonna start this video with stereotyping. I know that a lot of Korean people tend to think of Black people specifically in a certain type of way. And hold on, pause for a second. I need to go get something to push this hair out of my face while I do my makeup, so one sec. Okay. I'm gonna look a little bit wild for a second, you guys, but bear with me as I, go ahead and set my makeup. But anyway, so there's a lot of stereotyping that happens with Korean people in terms of Black people and how they behave and what type of things that they like. So for instance, I used to go to my boss's church at one point when I first started working at my animation company. My boss wanted to try to get me acclimated to the area, so she recommended that I join her when she was going to church. I'm not very super into going to churches and stuff like that, but I understood that she was trying to help me, trying to get me comfortable and stuff like that, so I decided to go with her. And there I met my boss's brother, who was a pastor, I believe, at the church, and I think he had also met other Black people or something like that. And he used to come to me all the time and tell me how I was so different than some of the other Black people he had met. And he was like, oh, Black people tend to be or Black women tend to be so aggressive, and they're like this, but Sheeta, you're not like that at all. That was something that got on my nerves, and he used to do it every time he saw me. You're not like those other Black women. I'm just like, I don't know if you're trying to compliment me or something, but I don't see that as a compliment, really. Oh, every Black woman is mean and aggressive like that. You realize that Black people have different temperaments, right? Yes, I'm more on the shy and quieter side, but not every Black woman, not every Black person is loud and aggressive. And why are you making that assumption about Black people? Who told you that all Black people were like that? Sir. There was another time where I had done this fashion show. It was called Seoul Africa Fashion Show, and the guy that came up to me, he was a white guy, but he was living in Korea, or I don't know, doing business out in Korea or something like that. We had been at the after party for the Seoul Africa Fashion Show, and he kind of did the same thing. He came up to me and he asked me where I was from, and I told him I was from the US. But I guess he assumed I was from Africa or something like that, because it's, Seoul Africa Fashion Show. And he was like, oh, I thought you'd be more exotic than that. And I'm just like, hey, I guess I'm not exotic because I lived in the US. Just little things like that. Bro, can you not? So there was another instance as well. I used to live in Jeonju, South Korea. And one time we were going on a tour, right? And the tour lady, we were having like a casual conversation, I think about music, Korean music or something like that. And like, you know, she's asked me, oh, what kind of like music are you into? And before she could even finish the sentence, she's already saying, oh, is it hip hop? Although I do listen to hip hop, yes. For you to automatically assume that I'm into hip hop simply because of the color of my skin is just like a little bit like extra. At least give me a second to tell you what kind of music that I'm into. Like, it practically jumped out of her mouth before I could even say anything. In a way, she's not lying, because yes, I do like hip hop. I also like other genres of music. Can you let me explain that to you first before you automatically assume, oh, she's black, so she must like hip hop then, right? It's like the stereotyping and the assumptions that people make about you simply based on the color of your skin. There was another instance as well where I was trying to find a job, another teaching job. I don't know if you guys have watched other videos on my channel, but I have mentioned before I used to teach kids English out here in South Korea. I don't do that anymore, but I did for like 2 years. I was trying to move out here to Seoul, which I am here in Seoul now, luckily, but doing a different job. But before I had gotten this job that I have now, I was trying to come out to Seoul to be an English teacher again, because I hadn't found this job yet. And I applied to some jobs out here, and I remember them saying that they specifically want a Caucasian person, a white person. I think it was the first time in my life that I had ever experienced a company telling me that I can't have a job because of the color of my skin, of something that I cannot choose. I was born with this skin. And for you to tell me, oh, it's not your qualifications, it's not your skill level, it's not the level of English that you know, but because of the color of your skin, because of your heritage, you cannot have this job. We want a white Caucasian person. Are y'all serious right now? This is what y'all really be doing out here? I'm sure that kind of stuff happens in America as well. Like, people won't hire you but based off the color of your skin, but they're not dumb enough to tell it to your face. You know what I mean? Like, it was just the audacity. Yeah, but those are just some of the things that, you know, has happened to me. Now, a lot of black women also talk about, you know, how they're stared at in Korea, and I don't think I've ever experienced really being stared at like that. Not to my knowledge, but I'm usually in my own world anyway. I'm not really paying attention to the people around me like that. But I don't think that I really get stared at like that. At least I don't notice it. But I know that it's something that a lot of other black women, when they retell their stories of like how they are in South Korea, how they're navigating it out here, they do typically tend to say, oh, we get a lot of stares and stuff like that. But there's a catch to that. I don't get stares when my hair is straight. So hold on, I'm just gonna prime my face real quick. We're gonna talk about the stares, but staring when I have different kind of hair. So I cannot even begin to tell you how differently people react to me based on what kind of hair I have. So when I first got to Korea, I'm not even gonna lie, one of the things I was worried about was my hair, because I don't know, man. I just know that Korean people, they aren't used to hair like mine. I've seen like videos about black women in Korea. Like, you know how those sometimes black women will go to salons in like China, or I've seen some people do it in Korea as well, and they get their hair done and stuff like that. Like, black Korean people are not used to black hair or afro hair, afro textured hair. They think it's ugly. They don't understand it, you know? Unless it's like for fashion. Like, if it's for fashion, in the fashion world I think is a little bit more accepting to afro hair. Because when I was modeling, I showed one of the brands I was modeling for my hair, and they were like, oh, this is so beautiful, like, I want you to come with your hair like this, whatever, and they were fine with it. But when it comes to the average everyday Korean person, they typically haven't seen hair like yours before, so they're probably going to be shocked, and or either they're shocked or they laugh. That's the only two reactions I get about my hair. Either it's shock or like they're laughing at you, right? Because I've noticed as well in Korea, whenever like I see the comedy shows or the gag shows as they call it here in South Korea, when their gag men have, or trying to be funny, they will have that like big afro kind of hair. And I guess people associate it with being something that's funny, that's clownish, that's comical, you know? So when they see an actual real person with that type of hair, it's like, I guess they don't understand it. So there's been a lot of instances where I would go out with my hair. Maybe I can even show you some pictures. I'll insert some pictures of how I would have my hair usually. Like sometimes I will have it wrapped up and my hair would be going like up this way. And I remember one time I was in the store and this lady was in line with her boyfriend and she just stopped and was just staring like she was staring dead at me. And I know it had to be like because of my hair. At first, like, you know, I didn't get it because I'm just like, bro, like it's just like, what's wrong with it? I don't understand why it was such a big deal, you know? Again, they have not seen hair like that before. So it's like really baffling to them, which I don't understand why, you know? I've had many more experiences, like whenever I was at the Hagwons as well. Sometimes I would switch out my hair to braids, right? And I would braid my hair just, you know, as a protective style, you know, like everybody knows protective styles. So I would like put braids in my hair and I would come to class. And sometimes I would like try to do it in a subtle way so like it's not so noticeable, but like the kids would always notice after a while and they would ask me about it. And they would be like, oh, teaching reggae hair. Because anytime they see you with like braids or something like that, they don't know that it's braids or like anything is like locks or something like that. They know braided hair or dreaded hair like that. Everything under that category to them is reggae hair, okay? So if you're gonna come here to Korea, be prepared. If you have braids or something or locks in your hair, you're just gonna call your hair reggae hair. The kids would ask to touch it. And like when they would touch the braid, they would be like, so. And they would act so scared when they were touching my hair. Not to mention, like, sometimes they would just come up and touch my hair and not even ask. It'd be like a whole petting zoo over here. It's always a situation. So, like, it got to the point where, like, I just figured, you know what? Let me just wear straight hair so these people stop asking me questions about my hair. Because it was just so... Every time I did something different with my hair. And I'm the type of person, I change my hair up a lot. I have, like, probably once a month, my hair is a different way. And I don't know, I just like to express myself with my hair. I mean, especially a lot of black women do that. Like sometimes you'll have pink hair, sometimes you'll have a new wig, a new lace front, whatever. And to me, it's not weird. But to Korean people, when they wear their hair the same way, like they almost never change their hair unless like you're a celebrity or something. Every day their hair is the same, you know? So when I come here with my box braids one week and then like my locks the next week and then this and that and the third, like I guess like they're like intrigued by it, but also like confused by it, you know? For me, it's just like the laughing, you know? Like, why do you have to laugh at me? Whenever I would go outside with my hair straight, no stares, no nothing, nobody checking for me, nothing like that. But whenever I had my natural hair outside, people would like stare, they'd stop, they'd giggle. Usually, I used to work at a kindergarten as well. And working at the kindergarten with my natural hair was the worst. I literally got, like, you know how in movies where the main character would do something and then like the whole class would just literally point and laugh at the person? That is what happened to me with my hair out. And it was so jarring for me and like it traumatized me to the point like, yeah, I'm not wearing my natural hair no more. Literally that week, I put my hair like straight and that was it for me and wearing natural hair in South Korea. There's only so much that you can take. There's only so much. I want to sit here and be thick-skinned and, you know, oh, this is me and like people need to accept me as I am. And totally and completely understand that, and I believe in that as well. But I'm only so strong, and I can't take everywhere I'm going, like, people are on the street, like, baffled by my appearance because my hair is different, you know? Like, it's really aggravating, and it's really hard to deal with every single day. So in order to make it easier for myself, I wear the straight hair just so that I can, I guess, assimilate in a certain way. And it is sad that I have to feel like I have to assimilate. I wish like I didn't feel like I had to do that, but it's just easier for me. It's easier on my mental state for me to do that for myself. Any other day, I'm walking down the street and nobody gives a crap. If I have to do that one thing to feel better and not feel like I'm being stared at, then I'm just gonna do it. Korea has come a long way, but they still have a long way to go when it comes to certain things with foreigners and with black people especially. For Koreans, I guess white and the white aesthetic is like the epitome of beauty. Well, I won't say the epitome, but like they do feel like white people are very beautiful. And I think, like, don't get me wrong though, I do get complimented all the time. So it's not like I'm going through here and people are just think I'm some kind of monster. Like, no, it's not like that. I still get, you know, my experience is still a little bit different. And I don't know if things would be different or how my experience would be if I was a darker person, like if I had darker skin. I don't know what my experience would be like. But there's plenty of videos from women who are of darker complexions, but I don't oftentimes see women who are of lighter skin tones, who are black, talk about their experience and if it's a little bit different or whatever. Not that we really need to, because we are all black, so it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm special because I'm lighter, but it is good to see like the different viewpoints of different types of black people, you know? But that's just my opinion on it. Like I've said, I do get called beautiful and all this stuff like that. And another thing that does happen too with being under the umbrella of being called beautiful is that I do get comparisons to other black women, right? And I know that this is something that other black women also experience when they come here to Korea, is them being compared to another woman of color. And it's just like, okay, like I don't know if it's meant to be, I guess it's meant to be a compliment that they're saying, oh, you look like Beyonce, oh, you look like, I don't know, whatever popular black person that Korean people know about at that day and age. Like, I'm sure before it was Beyonce, maybe even still it's Beyonce. I'm pretty sure people still know Beyonce in South Korea. For example, for myself, I'm constantly getting compared to Rihanna all the time. Oh my God, you look like Rihanna. Oh my God, are you Rihanna? Oh my God, you look just like Rihanna.
Are you Rihanna?
You know,
Rihanna.
you really
Wow,
resemble
Rihanna.
Are
You
you
know,
Rihanna?
you
Oh my
really
God,
resemble
Rihanna. And it's like every 2 seconds, like somebody is comparing me to Rihanna, and I'm just like, bro, I don't think I look that much like Rihanna. And I'm not trying to say like it's an insult to be compared to Rihanna, because Rihanna is a beautiful, spectacular human being. I love Rihanna, but like, I don't know what's with the constant comparison to Rihanna. But it's not insulting to be compared to Rihanna at the same time, because Rihanna is very beautiful, very stunning, and I guess it's meant to be a compliment in whatever way, shape, or form. But like, to always hear yourself being compared to Rihanna, it's a little bit like, dang, okay. I mean, every single time, it doesn't matter who I meet, like, oh my God, you look just like Rihanna, every single time. And it's just like a little bit, I don't know, man, it's just a little bit weird. Maybe I should just take it as a compliment and just accept it, you know? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments if I'm being weird about that, or if that's something that I should even be complaining about. Not that I'm like really complaining, because as I said, like, Rihanna is a beautiful woman, and I don't think being compared to her is like super bad or something. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like, does everybody have to say that I look like Rihanna? Like, everyone? Everyone, man? Okay. If you made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment this face. I'm gonna put a emoji right here. You guys go ahead and comment that in the comment section if you made it this far into the video, because I know this is a long video and I'm probably gonna have to condense it a lot. Okay, so this is a good one. Now, let's talk about Korean men for a second, because a mess. Korean men are great, okay? They really are. I'm pretty sure there's some good ones out there, but I can assure you, for a lot of women, especially a lot of foreign women, when they come to Korea, it's just some next level stuff with the men over here. I think they think that like we are easy and we're just gonna give up like stuff to them without any sort of trouble. And for me, when it comes to Korean men, like, I've stopped trying to date them. I've stopped trying to go out with them in any sort of way, because it's either they are telling me how much they love black women, how much they're into black culture, how much they want to put freaking locks in their hair. Like, what is with Korean men telling me how much they want to try putting dreads or braids in their hair? Or they'll flat out just, like, sometimes they'll just flat out tell me, oh yeah, I'm really into black women, I like dating them, like I love black culture. And to me, that's a little bit weird. I would really rather you not tell me how much you're into black women in particular, because that's a little bit fetishy for me, and it's always been like a turnoff whenever they do that. Because imagine me coming to a Korean person and saying, tell them how much I love Korean culture and I only want to be with a Korean man because he's Korean. I don't want to be with someone just because of their race or their ethnicity or their cultural group. Like, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't want to date a Korean man, because I wouldn't turn a Korean man down if he asked to date me. But like, it's the way that they go about it. Like, don't assume that I'm just going to let me be careful what I say here. Don't assume that I'm just going to jump into bed with you the first night that I meet you, or something like that, just because like what you assume, oh, because I'm a black woman, like, oh, you know, she's gonna be easy, like, oh, or not even sometimes because I'm black, sometimes it's just because I'm a foreigner. Like, they just think because I'm a foreigner, it's just gonna be so easy for them to get into my pants, I guess. And I'm just like, bro, like, nah, that's not how it works over here. Sorry. Those are just a little bit of my pet peeves about being a black person in Korea. It can be a little bit daunting. It can be a little bit lonely sometimes. There's been lots of Korean people that accept me for who I am. But sometimes I do get like people wanting to be around me simply because I'm black. Like, I remember this lady telling me how she wanted me to be friends with her. Like, she was like, oh, I've never had a black friend before. I'm just like, oh dear Lord, here we go again. Why can't it be like, oh, I really love your character, I love the person that you are? No, it has to be like you're ticking off a box that I fit into. Like I'm some sort of trophy. Like, oh, I'm gonna be so much cooler than these people because like I have this kind of friend. Like, and I don't want that. Like, why can't you be friends with me because I'm a good person? Like, why can't you be friends with me because you want to get to know me for who I am and not just my skin color? Or why are you blocking me and my opportunities because I'm black? Why are you not accepting me and like letting me get a job because I'm a black person? You can't pigeonhole people, and that's what they try to do to you. But even after saying all of those things, Korea is definitely a beautiful country. I wouldn't have stayed here this long if I didn't enjoy the culture, the beauty of this country, the people, the language, everything like that. And I'm not discouraging people from coming to this beautiful country and experiencing it, but these are some things that you would have to consider if you want to come here and if you want to live on a long-term basis, whether it be like 3 months, 6 months, a year, even longer than that. There are many Black people who are here that love it here, that adore it here, and they have a very good time here. Like, I feel like for modeling, I feel like lots of modeling positions are open for people of color, TV, entertainment, all that. I don't think it's as vast as it is for our white counterparts. I'm not gonna lie. White people definitely do get more opportunities and stuff like that in entertainment because, just they're more favorable. People really favor white people. But that doesn't mean you can't come here and be successful. It certainly doesn't. And I can't speak for everyone and everything and every situation, but I could just tell you a little bit about what I have experienced. And this is what I've experienced, and this is what I'm just trying to tell you about. But don't let my experiences, let me repeat myself, don't let my experiences be the determining factor for whether or not you come to Korea, whether or not you want to come to Asia. Please come here. Please experience it for yourself. Come and see what it's like. Go and see the world. Don't be afraid to go out and be around different kind of people. I've been here for 3 years now. 3 years of my life I've spent in this country. And I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. And for me, it's just, this is what has happened to me. But doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. And it doesn't mean if you're darker than me, your experience is going to be any worse. It doesn't mean it's going to be any better. Your experience is your experience alone. But I also want to talk about, being light-skinned in America versus being light-skinned in Korea. Because I think the experience is just slightly different. Because, colorism works all around the world, right? So I do feel like, there is the stigma of the light-skinned person in America, where light-skinned people are seen as, I really don't want to say this wrong. I really want to say this the right way. But light-skinned people are kind of, how do I say this without coming across as bad? I just don't think I experience as much blockages, like people trying to get in my way as much. Like, it still definitely happens. Korea, I'm always going to be a foreigner. I'm always going to be an outsider no matter what. But I definitely feel like in America, being a light-skinned person is seen as, I don't know, I guess a good thing. I'm trying to say this the best way I can. And here, I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten compliments on my skin color here in Korea as well. I remember when I used to do my pole dancing class, this woman, she was in the class with me, and my instructor used to tan, because when you're, not even just for pole dancing, but I think for bodybuilding as well, a lot of Korean people tend to tan their skin so that you can see their muscles better, right? And they usually tan to be about my shade, my color, or maybe a tad bit lighter, maybe a tad bit darker, but like this is my natural color. And she was saying that, you know, you should be proud of that, because, you know, a lot of people try to look like your color, but you were just naturally born that way. And that was such a nice moment for me, because it was the first time I had been complimented on my skin in South Korea. Nobody ever insulted me for my skin color. I just always had it in the back of my head that like Korean people weren't going to really like me as much because I was black. And that was always at the back of my mind, that I'm not going to be fully accepted in this country because I'm not white. And that's sad that I even had to think like that. And I remember voicing that to some white friends that I had, and they kind of just looked at me like they didn't get like not being accepted for your skin color. I'm pretty sure that's not something that they have to go through. They're not gonna understand. You know, for my black people coming out here trying to experience life in Korea, just know that it might be a little bit hard. It might be a little bit difficult, but there's a lot to love about this country. And I'm not saying that you have to like, you know, stick it out and live here forever, but at least come and experience it, you know? There's a lot to see here. I'm trying to think if I want to add anything else before I just wrap up my makeup. I've talked a lot. This video is going to be so long to edit, but I hope that y'all can understand what I'm talking about. Maybe you're even able to relate a little bit. Maybe you can even leave it in the comments, like, if you do happen to live in South Korea, if you are a black person in Korea, maybe you can tell me, you know, talk about even the differences that you've experienced in America versus Korea. All right, so I pretty much stopped talking after this point in the video. I don't know why I just stopped mid-sentence like that, but that was pretty much my thoughts on being black in Korea. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts as well, and your opinions on anything that I've said in this video. So if you felt like maybe some of the things that I said was a little bit inaccurate about Korea, then go ahead and put it in the comments in the comment section below. I really want to hear what you guys have to say, because I know that this can be a pretty divisive topic. So, you know, if I'm wrong and you guys don't agree with me, then go ahead and you know, educate me, because I'm open to it. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. The rest of the video is pretty much me just applying the rest of my makeup and yeah, just showing you guys the process. If you guys would like, you can subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to like this video, comment down below in the comment section, and tell me your thoughts. I want to hear from you. But yeah, see you guys in my next video, and thank you so much for watching. Oh, also, we have gotten to a little over 200 subscribers, which, you know, it's a thing. It's like not a huge amount, but at the same time, if you put 200 people in a room together, that's a lot of people. So I want to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Hopefully the coming content in the future you guys are also going to enjoy. And yeah, thank you so much. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you and goodbye.